What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. So I know some people in the past have mentioned how they wish I'd do Marvel and DC in this room, simply because that's my most impressive pieces. I have the most silicones. Thanos bust my favorite, and of course I've thought about it. How would I do it? And this is how I think I would do it. So let's talk about moving everything in here, and how I would do it. So if you look at it, we have 3 big garage shelves for AVP, technically plus another tiny one. So there's a few ways to go about it, but I could make this my AVP wall. So instead of the Marvel bust wall, my entire AVP line would fit on these shelves. So that's AVP. Then you got the horror wall. So the main horror wall is 3 shelves, then behind my couch, and then it goes into like Marcus and Lycan and all that. That would be from Superman to right here. So this would be the main horror, like Freddy, Jason, Pennywise, and then like Myers and Leatherface, and then, into Underworld and Blade. So that would go all along here. Of course, all the corresponding statues underneath. Over here, we would do the Terminator life-size in the closet. Probably like right there. And to the left, I mean, you could also do it on the left side, then the right side have a shelf. Because the life-size endo would go to about right there. So you could have something in the corner like a life-size bust. But then in essence, all this would be Terminator. Like I'd make this whole display Terminator. So this would be the Terminator. This would be all Underworld and horror into the AVP. So that's how you do it. We wouldn't be able to fit any, I don't even know, maybe I could get Game of Thrones. I suppose you could do Game of Thrones and Alita here if you were able to fit all Terminator up top. But Jurassic would have to stay here. So meaning everything from here and on would be available to be Marvel and DC. So the bust wall is 3.5 garage shelves. I'd likely do it right here. So that would be like Loki, Thor, Thanos bust, Captain, Doctor Strange, Hulk bust directly behind me. Have all MCU here, but then we do Venom bust right there. So Venom would be separate from the MCU, but on the left-hand side. So if you were to look at it from there to there, all MCU, then it goes into Venom. So that's how you do the MCU bust wall. Now everything else, top shelf, would have to be DC. So I was thinking this wall, and technically all the way till Chucky, all that could be the Dark Knight Rises. So you could, technically you could fit even more. So we might have to fit more. You could also make this the Justice League, But let's just say Dark Knight Rises, which definitely would be sufficient, like Joker bust in 1/3, Batman bust in 1/3, Catwoman bust in 1/3, Bane Ultimate, and still have a little, well, if you spread it out nicely, that's how it'd look. Underneath on everything from Red Sonja till there would be MCU 1/4. TV wall would be DC 1/3 underneath. Like the Suicide Squad, Aquaman, Shazam, all that would be underneath. Now this wall from right there to right there would be the Trinity. So Trinity on these 3 shelves. And then you do have the corner shelf and this. I would ideally like to do Steppenwolf and Darkseid on each end. And then right here, of course, it would be 2 garage shelves. You would have to do Aquaman bust in 1/3, Mara bust in 1/3, Harley bust in 1/3. Now, there's not as much top shelf in here as that room. So some things will have to go down low. But that would be like the Civil War setup, for example. MCU Civil War, that would probably just be Infinity War, Thanos and Gauntlet. Over here, I guess you'd have to do Endgame and then Spider-Man and Venom display in Deadpool over here. Underneath where you have Game of Thrones, we might do some J&Ds down here. Well, technically I'd only have to do J&D Wonder Woman. I might, in fact, just buy back, in that scenario, I would buy back Queen Wonder Woman bust and do Queen Wonder Woman bust and J&D Wonder Woman down low. And then have Suicide Squad And maybe over here you do Aquaman, Shazam. You'd have to definitely do something here in the middle as well, because if we're thinking about it, what are we missing? Technically, Cyborg and Flash. Cyborg, Flash. It almost make me want to do Darkseid and Steppenwolf mid-room and do the shelf with Pennywise as Cyborg and Flash and Shazam or Black Adam at the very end. You know, and do in the middle Steppenwolf and Darkseid. Of course, in this scenario as well, we didn't have space for that. But that's kind of how I would do it. Obviously, that is moving so many statues. Like Thanos bust alone, I'd have to bring my brother over. It's too much work, so I'm never going to do it. It's just way too much work. And I really like the setups right now as is. You know, because in this particular scenario, you like don't have the entire like Justice League, Aquaman bus next to all the other bus. You know, you're separating a lot of things. One other thing I wouldn't mind as well is, like, let's say MCU was in here. I wouldn't mind Queen life-size Spider-Man, like, in the middle of the room as well. I think that'd be sick. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever do that. It's just way too much work to be moving that many statues. That would take me weeks. How many statues would get broken in the process? It's way too much work. So definitely not going to happen, but I know people have asked about it, so I wanted to tell you how I would do it if I was to ever do it. But I'm not going to do it. It's just too much work. I don't like moving statues. There's always the chance you break it, and it's a huge pain. So don't want to have to ever do it, especially that big of a move. You know, I've done some big moves in the past, but this would be one of the biggest ever. We're talking moving over 100 statues. Way too much work. Anyways, folks, that is it. Let me know what you guys think. You know, how would you like that setup of the MCU bus in here, having Thanos bust right there? You know, having this as the MCU bust wall. You know, there's definitely some pros to that because of how big those pieces are and how wide this room is. I'm able to, like, you know, sit more back and enjoy it. But, yeah. Anyways, that is it. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.